tell me a little bit about how and when you decided it was time to take that step, and what were some of the first things you did to get that ball rolling and step out to where you are now?
So I can remember sitting in a room not that different than this on the 37th floor in Times Square, overlooking one of the greatest views in our country, and sitting in another all-day meeting, probably my 5th in a row. And around the table, there was a lot of discussion. There was a new product, new service to be launched, and they were talking about we needed to launch it at, similar to how I did with the last one at the World Economic Forum at Davos, and there was all this intense timeline scheduling. And I looked around the table and I realized I'm the only one around this table that knows how to do this. They're gonna ask me to do it. So I had this panic moment of, oh God, on top of my day job, as usual, I'm gonna get this crazy amazing but crazy intense project, and I just finished the last one. And I had this moment of clarity of, my reward for doing what I did was actually more work. I just had this moment of, I don't know if I want to climb that mountain again. I felt as if I had maxed out. I had achieved what I wanted to achieve, and I really had to think, what do you do when you max out? What do you do when you hit the top rung of where you want it to be? What's next? And so I walked away from that meeting, got on the flight going home thinking, I got to figure this out. I had some other signs. My husband, who's here, told me in a loving but direct way, I'm not sure you live here. I think you just change your clothes out here. And I had flown 150,000 miles the past 12 months, had amazing opportunities to see the world, and realized that I was missing the world right in front of me. So I started to think, what next? Little scared, didn't know if that meant just another job, didn't know if that meant, what would be next. But I really started to do some introverted thinking, and I like silence a lot. So I had some silent time. I like to say entrepreneurship is not just having your own business, it's being the CEO of you. So I had a board meeting with myself and sat in a room quietly and said, what is it that I love doing most? And what kept coming to me is telling stories. And so I love all aspects of marketing, but the part I love the most is the storytelling. So 6 months later, I had a contract with EY for a year to do a very big project, and walked out of the door and started my own agency.
It's an inspiring story.